Most football players don't improve their fitness because they don't know how to train properly for the demands of the game. It isn't about doing stuff like 5k runs or just constantly doing cone drills. Football is one of the hardest sports and is made up of so many different components of fitness that you need to know how to train as much of it as possible in the best way to make sure that your performance improves on the pitch and you're not just developing your fitness without football in mind. In this video, I'm going to go through the 5 main important parts of your fitness that you need to train to improve your performance on the pitch and improve as a football player. Hi, I'm Tom. I'm a strength conditioning coach for football players, and I help them to run faster, turn quicker, be stronger, and have more energy on the pitch to improve their performance when they play so they can take their game to the next level. Now, one of the hardest things about football when it comes to improving your fitness is that there are so many different parts you need to consider. Football as a sport does rely heavily on your fitness. Not to say that being fit will make you a good football player, but it's something that you need at every level of the game. But it isn't just a continuous 90-minute steady state run, or consistent intensity through the game. Football at the highest levels, is played for 90 minutes, and it is made up of constant changes of directions, sprints, accelerations, decelerations, jumps, twists, turns over short distances, repeated over and over again, and that's what makes up the majority of the work. And when you combine that together, players are still covering distances up to 14-15 kilometers, all made up of high intensity sprints. So normally when you train for fitness, you would break all those different components down and try and focus on one specific one. A marathon runner doesn't care about their sprint speed, they want to be able to maintain their endurance over a longer distance and time. A powerlifter doesn't care at all about his cardio, or his ability to run, he just cares about his strength and his power. Football players need a little bit of everything, or to be fair, a lot of everything all at the same time. So if you don't know how to, or what you need to train, you're going to make it that much harder to improve your fitness, and you're going to struggle to keep up with everyone else who is. So in this video, I'm going to break down the 5 main areas, or the key important ones you need to think of and consider so that you can train it in the right way, improve your fitness so that you improve your performance on the pitch. The first one we're going to go over is your endurance and your conditioning. Now, this is a measure of how long you can maintain your level of performance over a full match, because as soon as the whistle goes at the start, the longer you play and the more you play, the more tired you get and the harder it is to keep that performance up. And when I say performance, that does include your sprinting, your turning, your jumping, as well as your skill elements. The more tired you get, dribbling, shooting and passing all become a lot harder. So the fitter you are, the longer you can maintain that performance, which means every opportunity you get later in the game, if you are fitter, you can have a better opportunity and a better chance of affecting the game in a positive way for your team. It could be having a free kick late into the match, or just being played through on goal as a counter attack, and heavy legs are starting to set in everywhere. But if you've got the endurance, if you've got the stamina to keep the speed up and then run through on goal and score, you're going to win it for your team. That's why your endurance and your conditioning is so important. But it isn't, as I said earlier, about marathon running. This is about repeated high energy bursts like sprints, turns, jumps, repeated over and over again for the full 90 minutes. And this is why endurance football is so hard, because normally endurance isn't about being able to repeat high intensity efforts. It's more about steady state, consistent efforts. But in football, you need to have that energy to sprint hard, fast, stop, and then go again. And one of your parts of your conditioning isn't necessarily about how long you can maintain your sprints, but it's how quickly can you recover between those high energy bouts. So the next opportunity that comes up, or the next need to do it, you're ready to go, and you aren't tired, you aren't flagging, and you aren't being left behind. The next element we're going to cover is speed. Now, as the game develops, as the seasons and the years go by, the game is getting quicker and quicker. And speed is something that can separate you from the rest of the pack. Because speed, yes, is a great skill to have, and it can make a difference. You look at players like Mbappe and Haaland, top strikers, okay, best in the world, and they're associated with having that high speed in their game. Now, when it comes to your speed, the reason it's so important is because it gives you more opportunities to influence the game. And it's not necessarily just about running through and goal and scoring. Sometimes as a defender, tracking back and making that last ditch tackle is as important as it is scoring a goal. Or as a midfielder, okay, the ability to burst out, okay, into space to receive the ball, to maybe then lay off the pass for your teammate to score, okay, or move the ball around. Speed gives you more opportunities because it gives you more time. If you're faster than your opponent, you can get in front of them, you can have more time, you can take that touch, you get the space first, you then get control of the ball. It enables you to control and influence the game. And yes, the big one is going to be that, have you got the speed to get past defenders so that you can play through on goal and either shoot and score, okay, or square it to your teammate so he can do the same. But if you don't have the speed, you'll end up getting left behind and you basically end up not being able to keep up and play the game. Improving your speed just comes from improving your speed mechanics, working on your sprints, and applying stuff like strength and power into your actual technique to run. After speed, on a similar topic, it's going to be your acceleration. Now, your speed is your ability to run fast over, say, a longer distance. Your acceleration is more about how quickly can you go from standstill or zero and build up that speed towards, not necessarily your max speed, but how quickly can you get out of the blocks and being on your toes. Now, especially for football, most of the sprints and most of the runs you do aren't going to be that long relatively. Most sprints in football are going to be under 20 meters, maybe even under sort of 15 to 10 meters. That's why acceleration is so important, because it might not necessarily be the fastest player on the pitch, but the person that can get out quickest and have the best acceleration actually gets more opportunities and a better way to influence the game. Especially as midfielders, okay, if you're trying to pop in and out of space to get the ball, or if you are a winger and you're trying to get past that defender, having those first 3 to 4 quicker steps is going to give you that ability to just get past them in time to beat the offside trap and then win the ball, okay, and create that opportunity for your team. And like I said, it's the same for defenders, okay. You can't let the attackers have speed and acceleration over you, especially as wing backs, okay. But we see it now even as centre backs. Look at Mickey van der Ven, an out-and-out defender, but known as being one of the quickest in the Premier League, okay. I'm pretty sure, not last season, the season before, he had the highest speed, over 35 kilometers an hour. It's important to have that element to your game, no matter what position you're in. And your acceleration just comes from working over those shorter distance, 5 to 10 meters, working on quicker feet, better mechanics, and doing shorter runs, but more of them. If you keep doing 20-meter sprints, it's going to take you longer to do the sprint, get back and recover. If you do 10-meter sprints, it's quicker. You get back, you go again, and you're working on how quickly you can move from that standstill position. From acceleration, we're going to move on to agility. Now, agility is often kind of given different angles of what it is. How I like to look at it is agility is your ability to change direction at speed while reacting to a stimulus that is external to yourself. What does that mean? Basically, you can slow down, change directions, not just around a cone where you can predict it by someone instigating it for you. So you have to react. Because all well and good if you can turn quickly, but if you can't react to the game, you're going to fall behind. You're not going to have that quick step. You're not going to be able to keep up as the ball moves and turns. And although we sort of associate agility with those quick and sharp wingers, especially as a player in the middle of the pitch, your CDMs or your attacking midfielders, being able to get in and out of space to receive the ball, move it quickly or turn quickly is going to be a very key important part to your game. But agility isn't just about cone weaves, okay, and agility ladders. One of the key things that come to agility that gets overlooked is actually being able to stop first. If you can slow down quicker, you can then turn and change direction quicker. One of my favourite skills I ever see anyone do that is just so simple was Oxlade-Chamberlain, where as a winger, he would run down the pitch and he would just stop. The defender would end up going past him because he can't stop as quick, so he then has to come back to meet him and defend. And as he's coming back, he will then go past him as he's going the opposite direction and leave him for dead. Okay? Even just being something as simple as being able to stop quicker is going to give you that opportunity and that advantage over your opponents. But when it comes to actual agility, you have to be able to stop with control and speed and then decide which direction you're going to turn. But you have to be able to react quickly. Now, when it comes to agility, you want to be able to train different movements and different angles that you're going to turn, because you never know how it's going to be on the pitch. As a coach, from my point of view, my goal is to train you to cover as much as possible in training, so that when you come onto the pitch, you are practiced in as many possible ways so you can deal with whatever comes on the pitch. It's not always going to be perfect, and it's not always going to be as it is in training. But that's why you train more, so you cover more scenarios, so you're more prepared for on the pitch. And the last part I'm going to cover here is your strength and your power. Now, strength and power have two parts to the pitch. Firstly, it's about being strong on the pitch. Being strong to resist challenges, whether it's shoulder to shoulder, in the air, okay, or just be able to control your body so that when you get knocked, you're not going to go flying. The other part to your strength is actually that force output. You develop strength by lifting more weight, and by lifting more weight, your muscles can produce more force, and it's that force that actually projects you and moves you on the pitch. Whether that is sprinting, turns, jumping, whatever it is how much force you can apply is going to be how far you can move yourself. Power is strength times speed. Power is simply how much force you can produce with that strength in a quicker time, or how quickly can you produce that force. So a more powerful player would produce the same amount of force in a quicker time. And this is normally associated with plyometrics and power training, but it's all about taking the strength you build in the gym and be able to apply it explosively to the movements on the pitch or in training to develop your performance for the pitch. So this is one of those ones where it's talking about, train in the gym isn't good enough just to improve your speed. You have to translate that strength into power, and then take that power and apply it into your mechanics and your sprint and acceleration training, so that you apply it directly to how you move on the pitch. But a great thing about strength and power training as well, and plyometrics, is going to be your ability to resist injury. The stronger your body is, the less likely it is to break. Now, you'll never get rid of the chance of injury completely, but if you train in the right way and you train your strength in the right way for football, you will reduce the chance that you get injured, which means you're training more, you're playing more, and you can develop more with more playing time. The more time you spend out is less time you are improving and playing and losing out on those opportunities. So those are the 5 areas that, if you want to improve your performance on the pitch through your fitness, that you need to focus on. It's your speed, your acceleration, your agility, strength and power, and your endurance and conditioning. As a strength and conditioning coach for football players, my goal, and my whole purpose is to provide you with the knowledge and the coaching advice to improve your fitness, to improve your performance on the pitch, so that you play better, win more, get more opportunities, and take your game to the next level, and hopefully live the dream that every football player wants, which is to play professional football and make a living out of it. Football is one of the hardest sports to improve your fitness for, because it requires so many different components, and a lot of them are quite opposite ends of the spectrum. Speed to endurance, strength and endurance, again trying to maintain that performance through a pitch. That's why improving your fitness is so hard, if you don't know what you're doing. So a big part, and a good place to start is just to start working on your endurance and how much energy you have for a match. Because if you have the energy, you can apply yourself better. And if you want, I've got a great way to start, which is with the Match Fit Starter Pack. This is just 3 drills that I came up with that don't need any cones, don't need any measuring. It just takes the dimensions of the pitch, to cover 3 different levels of your endurance and conditioning. It's completely free, it'll get you started, and it'll get you to a point where you can start improving your fitness in the right way and start seeing improvements in your performance on the pitch.